All right, everyone, thank you for joining us for Cooking with Chef Dave.
That's me. Oh, shucks, don't go doing that. You get me all real fuzzy. Okay, I'm Chef Dave. I just recently came back from Egypt. I was in the pyramids and I did the Pharaoh dance. It was great. People looking at me like, dude, I mean, what are you on? Nothing yet. Just high on life. So anyway, I brought back a few recipes. We went with Viking, Atom. Just an excellent crew, and we had our own Egyptologists and we had armed guards every place we went. They don't mess around. Right? We're going from one town to another town on a bus, and you see these deer stands. Deer? You look in the windows, like 30 caliber machine gun up there, pointing west, east. So if anybody tries to come across, they got them. They don't mess around. Yeah, I felt safe. I mean, the security guards, they all had 9mm. Most of them were Glocks. They were nice little guns. Yeah. So they were really nice
We
too.
might be like that before.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, they were assigned to we had different security guards, different places we went, we had security guards, which were resident to that area, so they knew the people, which was nice. So we didn't, you know, after the first day, we felt totally safe. It was an awesome trip. But anyway, hey, life's uncertain. We're gonna start with dessert because it takes a little while to bake, but I do have some anyway. We're gonna do an Egyptian semolina cake. Here I have some of my ingredients all pre-mixed, all my liquidy stuff. Got some melted butter up here. It's still melted. Didn't seize back up. Put that in there. Maybe I'll just stir that around a little bit. Watch me, if I don't have a big enough bowl, I'm gonna make a hell of a mess here.
We might have some bowls in the cabinet.
That's okay. I'll see if I can be gentle. Here we have our dry ingredients. We've got our dried coconut, okay, our semolina, our baking powder, okay, and our sugar. I wrote it on there so I know. Okay, so.
There's no handouts, right?
Huh?
I'm writing it fast.
You have handouts.
There were recipes sent to you. I can print them out if you would like a paper copy.
Yeah, that way they
absolutely.
can draw faces on it. Okay,
Draw faces on it.
well, whatever. And also at the bottom of the thing, it has a little.
You have to cook for that.
Huh? So this is a really weird mixture because you've got the yogurt in here, you got the honey, you got the tahini.
So what did you start with in the bowl? Yogurt and honey?
Yogurt, honey, tahini, okay, and ghee, which is the melted butter.
Then you put
And
the
that's in
butter
there.
in and then.
And now I'm putting my dry ingredients in, which is my semolina, sugar, unsweetened coconut. Make sure you use the unsweetened coconut. It makes a difference. I found out the hard way by trial and error. Okay, it's a lot different. Makes a real big, and this is your batter. It is really strange. Okay, it's really a strange batter.
Looks like grits.
It doesn't. What is semolina? Loosely speaking.
Coconut grits.
Yeah, okay. And I got some little molds here. We'll just
So
put
that's,
half in each.
this is a cake.
It's what they call a cake. Now, everybody, you know, the terminologies change around the world for different things. You know, I mean, so, you know, the terminologies change a little bit. Cakes, gâteaux, everybody, it's basically the same thing, just a little bit different. So that, that is our,
Would it be for breakfast or is it served at every meal or just breakfast?
it's like a dessert.
Oh, dessert.
It is a dessert. Flattens it out. I've got some almonds. Just put some almonds in there. That's the hard part. And this mixture is kind of hard, it's very firm. So you can actually take this mixture, and if you're using a large pan, you can take a spatula or something and put marks in it, proportions and design, it will stay there when it's cooked. And that's the nice thing about it. Then you throw these puppies in the oven.
Like sometimes like a foreman dropping off.
Certain degree temperature.
350 degrees for about 20 minutes. Okay, and then you go for it. Okay, that's going to take care of itself. You got my timer? Oh. Okay, next thing we're going to start off, which takes a little bit of time, is our jasmine rice. Jasmine rice is a fun rice. It's very delicate. It's very easy to cook. And what I've done, this looks like Yellow River, it is. I put the saffron in the vegetable stock ahead of time to infuse it. If not, you get little like brilliant yellow bursts in your rice, which is not something you want. It worked. Okay, so we'll put our saffron. Now, actually, it's 1 cup of rice to 1 1/4 cup, 1 1/2 cup of liquid. All right, so this is all pre-measured and ready to go. Now, the thing about this rice, this jasmine rice, you need to bring it up to the boil. First of all, you take your rice and you wash it off. You get all the extra starch off of it. Okay,
So it's just regular rice.
just no, it's jasmine rice.
Oh,
It's a different type of rice.
I gotcha.
It's a
Okay.
different type of
Oh,
rice.
jasmine with the sauce or whatever.
Yeah, it's a different type of rice.
Different type of-
And so you wash it off in cold water, and the water will be very, very cloudy, and you just rinse under cold water until it gets clear. And that way you're taking away the extra starch. You don't need that extra starch. And the thing is, once you bring this to the boil, and this is the hard part. You bring it to the boil, you turn it down to simmer, you cover it, you turn it off, and you forget about it.
Easy.
Do not be tempted to stir it. Because if you start stirring it, you'll bring the starch out and you'll have yourself a great big glutinous mess. Okay? So you have to make sure you don't stir it. It's tempting. When I was at Deltec with the students, don't stir the rice. Okay, chef.
I
Okay, chef.
bake it, I bake it.
Huh?
I
Yeah.
bake it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't flutter or anything.
No, that's fine.
Cool.
Now, you may want to just give it one, after it comes to boil, just give it a little tickle on the bottom to make sure nobody's caught on the bottom for you. And that's it. And then your rice is good. Put a lid on it, put it off to the side, and you're finished with it. So that's out of the way. I like doing that. There's one. There's two.
Is that the basic starch that you'll see in Egypt? Is a lot of rice?
Yeah, a lot of rice, yeah. A lot of rice. A lot of produce. I mean, the Nile River is really cool because you got the Nile River, then you got maybe a third of a mile of green, then desert. The Nile River, third or so mile of green, and then desert. You know, and Cairo is an interesting city, about 25 million people there. And the reason it's so heavily populated is the thought process is you're nobody unless you come from Cairo. That's what our Egyptologists told us. That's why everybody, if they can afford so, they move to Cairo because it gives them better opportunities. A big city like that, yeah, you got lots of opportunities. So it makes for better life for everybody, which is a nice thing about it. Okay. Another thing to do. Get going. Now, as soon as I walk away from this, it's gonna boil and make a mess, guaranteed. It's called Murphy's Law, it happens every time. Okay, anyway, we can look at the baba ganoush here. The baba ganoush is an interesting critter. It's eggplant, and what I've done, I roasted the eggplant ahead of time, and I always like cut it a little bit, okay? And it says to scoop it out.
Look at that.
Okay, you don't want the skin, obviously. And, you know, when you think about it, they did not have food processors way back then. So they would take a stick or a mortar and pestle and just take out the frustrations on it and beat it up. Okay, and this, you know, they would just beat it up and stir it. Some of the fibers would stay, some of the fibers would not. When we were in Egypt, we had baba ganoush a couple of times. Some places, you can tell it was processed in a food processor. It was smooth. Other places, it had attitude, it had chunks.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I like the chunky one better. Yeah. You know, I really enjoyed the chunky one better. That was a nicer concept.
It
Would it
smells so
make any
smoky.
difference if
Huh?
the egg?
I said it smells smoky. I like the,
Okay, we came to the boil. Back here now.
I'm sorry.
We're back here
So
in the
baba
corner.
ganoush is kind of like a hummus type of thing.
Hmm?
Baba ganoush is like a hummus.
Well,
type
no, hummus and baba ganoush are two different things completely.
of- Okay.
We're gonna make some baba hummus. Hummus is with chickpeas normally.
Right.
Okay, baba ganoush is with eggplant. And all the Egyptian countries, all that area, they all have eggplant. It grows. It's a very hardy vegetable, and they all do it differently. In Tunisia, they make a eggplant salad, and they cook it, and they put hot peppers into it, get all the moisture out of it, so it looks like baby paste, but it's hot and spicy, which is really good. Put it on pita, put some vegetables on there, and chow down on it. So everyone has a little different way of doing it. So you've got this here. We have some attitude. There we go. It's a little mushy. And we have, over here, we have our mixture of herbs and spices. We have, we got garlic, lemon juice, tahini, olive oil, cumin, pepper, paprika, basil, okay? Not basil, paprika, and parsley. Let me see if I can get that out of here. Oh, that smells so good. And there's your mixture that goes into here. I like using these bags because once they're done, they're finished. Okay.
Dave, I have a question on the eggplant. Is there any advantage between baking the eggplant or fire roasting it? I mean, barbecue?
You can buy barbecue, yeah. Just be careful it doesn't get too crispy. Okay? So here you have your, all your mixture in here. Now with the baba ganoush, you can serve it with vegetables, which I'm doing today. I'll serve it with vegetables. But it's got some. This is the part I like. I can remember years ago watching the cooking shows. Yeah, I think I need some more salt. Yeah. And then they'd be very hygienic and use another finger the next time. Yeah, so.
Well, you gotta taste it to see
Mhm.
if it's good.
What's the point of doing it if you don't taste? And so many cooks actually forget about that part. They'll make something and they won't taste it as they go and they just assume it's gonna be okay. Yeah, a jumper. Yes. The eggplant, when you cook it, takes about 30 minutes or so, 30 to 40 minutes. And you want to do a 450-degree oven, that way you get some caramelization of it. It's very important when you caramelize something, you develop the flavor a lot more. And because you're working with ingredients, which you don't have a whole lot of ingredients to work with. And you're talking about years ago when people were doing these things, they learned to caramelize stuff to develop the flavor, which is very nice. The baba ganoush is going. Okay, our rice. Oh, look at that. Just doing this thing back there. Huh?
It's good in here.
Yeah.
12 minutes left.
Okay.
For the cake.
Yeah.
How about the rice?
Huh?
The rice can just stay there
It
for.
stays.
The rice stays, you just don't mess with it.
Okay.
This is my friendly pan. Now, the reason I put a wet cloth underneath of this thing is because it'll melt the table if I don't, right?
We've learned from experience.
I like cast iron. You just gotta remember to always use a rag. If you don't, it puts a hurting on you. Okay. Okay, the kebabs that we're doing today are Egyptian kebab. And what makes them different is the flavor. You've got some really harsh, exciting flavors in here. You've got balsamic vinegar, salt, black pepper, garlic, oregano, cumin, turmeric, ginger, cardamom, and clove. So you got a really different flavor profile. I've got wooden skewers and I got wooden and metal skewers because I ran out of the wood ones.
I don't know if you have a flame on, do you?
Hmm?
I don't know if you have a flame on currently.
What's the matter?
I don't know if you have, oh, yes, you do.
It's on.
No, okay.
It's on.
Why? Because I'm only barbecuing it.
Now these here, oh yeah. these here you can also do outside on a barbecue grill. The grill would not fit in my car, and she got upset if I was over here anyway. Sometimes she has no sense of humor. Okay, we'll let those sizzle for a little bit. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll come over here and we'll heat up our oil. Oh, put that back here. Still getting that hot. The falafel, interesting concept. Hey, you want to put your closest?
Yeah.
These are the fava beans.
Great.
Yeah, I know, legs don't fail me now. I understand.
Now, what do we do with these?
Just look at them. Okay, those are the fava beans. They're actually, you can pick them up. I'm not gonna use them. We'll chuck them afterwards. You see, they have a skin on them.
Yeah.
They're raw. They've not been cooked.
Squeeze the good stuff out.
But you soak them for like 24 hours and they swell. They're about half the size of that before they get soaked.
Out of the shell. It's huge.
There they are up here.
Yeah. Okay, and which makes it nice. They actually are stronger in protein than lima beans. And they're
grow like on
real,
a vine, like
Huh?
lima beans.
yeah, they grow similar to lima beans. And you can see the bean is here. Then you have this really obnoxious skin on the outside of it, which you need to take a knife and cut it and take the skin off. Then you have the bean inside, which is the edible part. This is not edible. Okay, so that's what makes these such a pain in the patooey. What I'm gonna do, so we don't set off the smoke alarm, I'll put this back here if I may, please. Okay? I'm gonna bring this forward. Okay. You need to play around sometimes. You know, you need to make little fun things. So sometimes I'll take a green onion, take off the tip. If I put this into a bowl of water, what's gonna happen is it's gonna open up and make a little flower for it for garnish. And if you do we have the ends of the cucumber, we have cucumbers over here, we have the ends of them. And a lot of times what I'll do is just take a small knife and just cut around like that. And then cut inside. Nice thing about this, if you mess up, you can eat your mistakes and nobody knows.
Right, his fingers.
Okay? Yeah.
He showed us one time how to use the knife.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think so.
So you have a little tiny flower, which goes really nice for your baba ganoush if you want to. Okay, and these things, if they were sitting in a pot of water, they would open up like a flower. You can put those in there too. Okay. Stay good. All right, next thing we're gonna play with here will be our fava. This is a fun thing. As I say, dried fava beans. Okay, don't bite the can. It doesn't work. You dry them, the dried beans, soak them, then skin them. Coriander seeds. Something about the coriander seeds which is interesting. In Asian cookery, Asian and Middle Eastern cookery, they'll take the seeds and the spices and they will roast them to begin with, okay? And when you roast them, it develops the flavor a lot more. You can try this at home, but then after you roast them, you gotta crush them. So if I was gonna roast these, roast them in a pan, a dry saute pan, okay? No oil, get them nice and hot, and you see when the seeds are in there, they'll start jumping just a little bit. Just as they start jumping, get them out because you're leaving there too long to burn, and you lost your flavor profile, you got a burn profile. And very simply, to crush these guys, for the sake of time, we're not gonna roast them, but we'll just put a couple here. And you take a flat bottom pan, like this, that's clean, of course. Okay, and that's the easiest way to crush them. Then these are what you would put into your falafel mixture. And the flavor, the perfume, when they roast, you crush them, they have a perfumey flavor to them. Very, very nice, very, very pleasant. When they're not roasted, they're just plain old seeds and not too exciting. So because of time, this is a mixture. Okay, so what I've done is the the beans, coriander seeds, chopped, onions or scallions, garlic, parsley, cilantro, leek whites, cumin, black pepper, salt, pepper. Mix it in a food processor. Now, I got this recipe from the chef on the boat, and it's wrong. You know, a lot of times chefs will give out a recipe and they leave out one ingredient or substitute an ingredient or not put the right correct. Well, what was left out in the translation was the flour. There needs to be a little bit of flour in there to actually hold the stuff together. It may hold with your, it may hold together with the, just the vegetables by themselves, but it's not a guarantee. Because once you put it into a pan of hot oil, they'll just disperse and make a mess. Okay, disperse and make a mess. So what we're gonna do is get this hot here. Now they also, over there, they've got little falafel presses. And that's what it says on the back end here, I guess. I don't know, I don't
Of
know.
course they have one.
Huh?
I said, of course they do.
Of course it is. You know, we went to the market and I told the security guy, I said, I want a falafel press. He said, I know who to buy it from. Come on by. Come on by. So we went down and how much? $10. What, for one? Yeah. I said, no, you give me two, I'll give you $10. They love to haggle. So I got two for $10. On Amazon, they're $7 a piece. So, which is okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a few of these sesame seeds. I'm just gonna pour those onto the thing here. Because I can. Okay. And then we're gonna, that stuff's still okay. How's our rice doing? Oh, it's rising nicely. Rice. Okay. Now, sometimes the falafel press works really good. Sometimes it don't. So if it doesn't work good, we'll just make balls. Okay? Which is also totally acceptable. Okay, the idea is wet your press, then take your spoon, get your spoon, Dave. Get your spoon. A little bit. Okay? Put your mixture in.
I've only ever had it in balls.
Hmm?
I've only ever had it in.
In balls, yeah, me too. And then it should come out. Yeah, it should come out. It should come out. Yeah, it came out. Okay.
3 for 10.
Huh?
You
Should have gotten 3 for $10.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have got 3 for $10. Okay, let that sit for a minute. Let's make a couple more. Okay,
You got 2 minutes left.
for what?
The cake.
Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Guys are-
Train, you got it trained well.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, it's all right. You know, that's what people are all about. You know, sharing is one of the best things going. You know, so seeds and then. Oh, God, let go.
Just like that little circles, they're little.
Huh?
Yeah.
little-
Okay. Makes little circles. It's, actually, the balls are a lot easier. This is kind of cool.
Maybe spray it with pan.
Huh? You could,
Spray it with pan.
but you do the same thing with water.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that in the desert, they don't necessarily have Pam,
I know.
you know? We are so lucky to have so many cool things in this country. Yeah, that came out.
So that's,
After a while, you get good at it. Well, as good as you can get. And that's not working too bad. I kind of like this. A nice thing about these will be nice and crispy on the outside and gooey and chewy on the inside. And that's how you tell if they're good or not. They're kebab it nicely.
that smells good.
You're at 20 minutes right now.
Huh?
20 minutes.
Well, let's see if it's ready. You guys ready?
No.
That gotta go a little more. give me another 5. Thank you.
Right.
Okay, let's see if we can, we got heat? Yeah, we got heat.
You're fine.
We got heat. Come on.
Deep fried. No breadcrumbs on the outside?
Hmm?
You don't need breadcrumbs on the outside?
Sesame seeds on,
Sesame seeds.
on the one.
Let's see if that's hot enough. Yeah, it's hot enough. Watching the grass grow, huh?
What do they eat for breakfast over there?
Sometimes yogurt, fruit, waffle. Okay.
Other grains that are in the diet, like,
You got
farro or.
barley over there, farro,
Yeah.
those other wheats.
Couscous.
Yeah. Sesame. I mean, you got fields and fields of sesame seeds out there. Unbelievable, yeah.
Where did your Viking cruise start?
Cruise started in Luxor. We got on the ship in Luxor. We stayed in Cairo for 2 days and flew down to Luxor. And then we went on the ship and up and down. Neat thing about it, they have river pirates. Yes, they have river pirates. Now, these river pirates aren't bad people. They nickname them river pirates because they actually sell handmade scarves and blankets and stuff like that. And they're in their little boats, probably as long as these tables, maybe just as wide. And they put their things in plastic bags and throw them up to the ship when you're up there.
Is this the Nile?
In the Nile River, yes. This is at one of the locks. Yeah. And they'll throw the things up. No, actually, they'll throw 2 up at a time. So if you like one of them, you put the money in the one, you argue with them about the price. $20, no. $5, no. $7, no. $8, back and forth, to you finally just, okay, $5. So you put $5 in the bag and you throw it back down to them. And that's how it works. Interesting type of commerce. Well, Rice, how you doing?
So how long was the cruise?
It was what, 14 days, 13, 14 days?
Just in Egypt?
Yeah, just in Egypt, yeah. 2 days in Cairo, down, and then Luxor, down and back and forth, and another day in Cairo before we left. It was great. We went to the new Grand Museum. Now that is awesome. We spent 4 hours in the museum and we could have easily spent 4 days. There were so many different levels of floors. Every level is a different dynasty, a different century, whatever the case may be, all the stuff they found. And they're still finding stuff. They're still finding stuff. Unbelievable. Out there right now. The stuff they're finding. It's just remarkable. And the pyramids, we're talking about blocks that are what? 5 tons, 50 tons, 60 tons. And they're moving these tons. And granite. Some of the esophagus were made of granite. Some of the tombs were made from granite. How did they carve the granite with such precision? They had copper. So they must have used a lot of copper tools and resharpened them all the time. I don't know.
Can't imagine how they moved,
It's,
like to even build the pyramid.
yeah. Well, they start in the middle. They build the middle first, and then they start going out and up. So they told us.
They only had people.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they said there were no slaves. Everybody did it willingly.
You're at
Sure.
5 minutes.
yeah,
You're at your extra
Check your
5
page.
minutes.
Okay. They said they had slaves. They didn't have slaves. Everybody did it willingly, which is kind of nice, So.
So this-
got it. Okay. We have this one here too.
It's better than the British baking show.
Okay, we got a camera. We are ready.
Oh,
Let me put
fantastic.
the kebabs on something. Yeah, can you shoot a picture of each one for me, please, as well?
This
Thank you.
is the falafel. There's the baba ganoush.
Now, the saffron we're using today also came from Egypt. You know, if you buy saffron here, you're paying probably $20 or so for something like this. That was $2.
Wow. Yes.
Okay, $2. Another thing which was very cool when we were out there, we went on a balloon ride, a sunrise balloon. Now, it was cool. I didn't want to do it at first. My wife talked me into it, so I'm glad she did. But the baskets hold 28 people. Oh, good. If we go down, at least we're going down with somebody. So that's good. There's safety in numbers.
And you may land on somebody
Huh?
and soften the blow.
Yeah, but it was, yeah, hopefully you jump up to it before you hit the bottom. But no, we were up 1,800 feet, and then the sun comes up over the horizon. And it hit the Nile and it just like sparkled. And then we went back down. We went up and down all the time. And we're going by the trees. You hear all the birds starting to wake up in the trees. Then he spoils it, hits the gas, and the balloon goes back up again. You know, we went over a couple of temples, a bunch of ruins and stuff. The neat thing about it is the day afterwards, we went to those temples. So we saw them from 1,800 feet. Then we actually did the foot thing to get to them, which is kind of cool. So it was an awesome trip, totally awesome trip. I recommend it like 100% to anybody who wants to have some fun. And here we got some kebabs. And here we have some
Here are
dessert
the
already
veggie
made in advance.
kebabs and saffron rice.
Now, the thing with these cakes, you need to, before they get cold, you need to soak them with your syrup. You have the recipe for the syrup. You let them soak up and they keep them moist. And they soak up really fast. Yeah, they're great, yeah. They've already been done ahead of time.
Okay. Cakes.
No animals were
Okay.
killed to make.
Hey, so we got some food from Egypt.
Any?
really cool.
Right.
The flavors are not hot spicy, but spicy, very rustic, very strong, very bold flavors. Because you're talking about a nation, about a area which has a lot of desert, so you have to have, you know, bold flavors and nutrition. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Those people
Thank
in
you.
Electron Land, if you have any
Bon
questions,
appetit.
you have my email, please do not hesitate. This is shoot off a question. I'll be
Thank you
happy to
very
answer
much.
for you.
Thank you for joining
Thank you.
us.
Are you gonna stay and have lunch with us?
Sure.
Great. I guess I'm gonna.